Well, hello, fellow champions. It's me, Johnny, the champion within. Yes, I am still alive. I know you guys have probably thought for a while that maybe I fell off the planet. Unfortunately, I'm still here. And I say that a little tongue-in-cheek. I am glad to be here. Today is Saturday. This is Labor Day weekend. I'm out here at beautiful Frank Lisk Park. I'll show you guys some scenes as I talk and kind of tell you what's been going on in my life lately, why you haven't seen any of the videos from yours truly, the champion within, the future of my channel, maybe some drastic changes that are about to take place with the channel, and what my life is like right now and why I've been so absent. Anyway, guys, let me find a place to sit down back here. There's a couple of benches. I'm gonna get to the benches. I'll sit down and I'll go over where I've been and what's been going on. Just know that I've been good. Things have been kind of tough. I've had some setbacks in life that we all have from time to time. Nothing I can't handle. I've had 57.5 years to practice this thing called life, and hopefully I'm getting okay at it. But let me sit down and get this camera set up where it'll be steady and stable, and I'll give you guys an update of what's been going on the last 2 months and what I look forward to, very much so, going forward. I'll give you a sneak peek. You guys can see that. Just a little sneak peek about my life going forward, what that means for the channel, what that means for the carnivore diet or the carnivore way of eating. Let me go sit down and get this thing set up. I'll be right back with you. So as you guys know, I've been absent from YouTube for pretty much all of July and all of August. As you guys know, I left my previous employer, Lowe's. I loved working at Lowe's. There's nothing wrong with working there. It's just the company was headed in a direction that I didn't think my future was going to be as enjoyable as I thought it should be. And out of the clear blue sky, I get an email from the North Carolina Office of EMS telling me that they have kind of amended the rules. It used to be that if your paramedic certification had been expired for greater than 3 years, you pretty much had to start over again. Well, they've amended that due to a statewide shortage of paramedics. And now, regardless of how long your certification has been expired, if you will complete a state-approved refresher course, pass the state exam, pass a technical scope of practice, which is the hands-on part of the exam, then they'll reinstate your paramedic certification or EMT certification, depending on which level you're at. I'm at the paramedic level, the highest level. And I was a paramedic for years and years. I enjoy taking care of people. I love humanity, and I love being a part of the system to take care of humanity. So when I got that email, that pretty much changed my thinking. I was pretty well stunned. I was not expecting that, but it's an opportunity for me to finish out my working years. As you guys know, I'm 57.5 years old. I want to retire at 65 when I'm Medicare eligible, so that'll take care of the insurance needs there. And so it's 7.5 years. So I've got 7.5 years to do something. And if I can spend the next 7.5 years caring for my fellow man, then that'll be good. That'll be going out in style, going out doing what I want to do, not what I have to do. Anyway, guys, so I got COVID. I don't know if I told you guys on this take. This is my fourth take trying to do this. But I put in my 2 weeks notice at Lowe's, and the very next day came down with COVID. Can you believe that? COVID. And the irony is I never had COVID until I got the stupid shot. I got the Johnson & Johnson shot. Never had COVID beforehand. I got the shot, a couple years ago, and now I've had COVID 3 times. But I digress. So, finished working out my 2 weeks notice at Lowe's. And you guys may or may not know this. My wife is adopted. And about 5 years ago, she learned that she had a brother, a biological brother that she never knew existed. And he was able to reach out and get in touch with her. And we were they live in the Southwest, kind of. And we were going to go and visit them and meet them and spend some time with them. And then COVID happened. And so we postponed that trip. We wouldn't get anybody sick or anything like that. And then my wife went back to work. She had retired, but she went back and worked. And she worked all of last year in the school system. So she retired at the end of this year again. And I decided to take a week between Lowe's and my new job at American Transmed, which is a transport service. I'll get into that in a minute. So I took that week off. I worked Friday, my last day at Lowe's, finished out my 2 weeks notice. I pretty much recovered from the COVID, still felt pretty crappy, but I had recovered. We drove way, way, way out west. We drove for 2 days, met her brother for the very first time, which was quite an experience to be a part of, to watch two siblings in their 60s who had never met meet for the first time. They didn't even know the other one existed until 5 years ago. So that's pretty cool to be a part of that. My wife's brother and his wife were gracious hosts. They put us up in their home for 3 days, showed us around the area where they live, and we had a blast. Then we drove home for 2 days. My wife and I really had a good time driving. Pretty good weather. And then when I got home, I had to start my job that Sunday. So we got home on, I think, Friday night. And Sunday, I had to start my new job. I had to get everything ready. And I've been working pretty much since then. Well, right before we left to go on vacation, my brother, who lives down in Georgia, was hit by a drunk driver, caused his truck to flip 4 times, and broke his shoulder and banged him up pretty good. Well, he runs a small pest control service. And I have worked for my brother off and on in the past. And he was not able to service his customers. He's a one-man operation, but he's been doing it for 30 years. He's extremely successful. He's the best pest control person in the state of Georgia, maybe in the country, in my opinion, but I could be biased. So I would go down and work with him Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday so I could run his accounts. And he could, his arm was in a sling. He was all banged up, but if he was on site, then I could service all of his accounts. And then I'd drive back to North Carolina and work at my job, and then drive back down there and run his business with him for those 3 days, and able to get him caught up on his customers for the most part. He was very, very appreciative of what I did. I was very, very thankful that I was in a position to help my brother. Thankful that my new job, who I just started, amended my schedule and let me go help my brother without saying, hey, gosh, you just started here and now you're asking for this time off. So it worked out beautifully. Humanity can be beautiful when it needs to be, and it really was in this case. Anyway, so I've been working for my brother, driving to Georgia, driving back. Oh yeah, the big thing. I'm in school. So to get my paramedic certification back, I have to complete, I think it's like 400 hours of online classroom training, and then do the actual written exam, North Carolina State written exam, and then the technical scope of practice, which is the hands-on part. So when I'm not working for my brother, driving back and forth between Georgia and North Carolina, working at my primary job, I'm on the computer studying, I'm doing tests and quizzes and all of that. So, excuse me, I've been unbelievably busy and stressed. If you can imagine, it's been great, but it has been stressful. And if you guys know my story, this does not end well. When I'm under a lot of stress, a little bit of stress I can handle, most of us can. Moderate stress, yeah, you might fall off the wagon a time or two, but under the stress I've been under for the last 2 months, I haven't fallen off the wagon. I got a running start and I leapt off the wagon. And I have gained 27 pounds in 2 months. I don't say that with pride, I say that with humility. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't chase loose women, I don't gamble. I make bad food decisions when I'm under tremendous amounts of stress. And we know what this caused last time. if it was a stroke, a mini stroke, a heart attack, whatever happened to me in Kansas City, Kansas, when I had that problem back in March. I know I'm flirting with disaster. My brain knows that. I just can't put it all together. The good news is my brother's healed up. He's actually working on his own now. He's doing fantastic. I'm super, super proud of him. Love you, Steve. He's the greatest brother on planet Earth. I have a sister, Patty. If you ever need any real estate needs, reach out to me. I'll put you in touch with my sister, Patty, who's a real estate phenom, and she has been for 35 years. Anyway, I digress. So things are leveling out. I'm really working hard at school. I'm working a lot more hours at my primary job now that I'm not driving back and forth to Georgia. So I still don't have a lot of time to make YouTube videos and to do a bunch of editing, but I hope to in the future. So a big change that's coming for my channel is I'm going to change the name of my channel. I think if I'm going to be successful at having a carnivore themed YouTube channel, it needs to say carnivore in the title. And The Champion Within is the title that I came up with basically years ago when I did the whole starve yourself, calorie restriction, exercise like crazy, don't eat lean meat, lean cuts of meat, rice and broccoli. So that channel was based on losing a bunch of weight through the improper human diet. You know, lean chicken breast, broccoli, and white rice. That's all I ate for basically a year, and I did lose 100 pounds. That prompted me to start the channel, but it didn't last. It didn't last at all. As soon as my mom passed away and the stress came back, I put that 100 pounds right back on like it was nothing. So I'm going to change the name of the channel from The Champion Within to The Carnivore Champion. Now that's not to suggest that I'm some kind of champion in the carnivore space. I'm the carnivore champion of my life. My carnivore journey reflects my life, and I'm going to be the champion of my own journey to myself. So The Carnivore Champion will be the name of the channel just as soon as I figure out how to change it, make it official. And hopefully that'll get me some more views, people that are looking or interested in a low-carb, keto, ketovore, or carnivore YouTube channel. Maybe they'll run across mine a little easier than The Champion Within. So very proud of the work that I've done so far, the 1,700 plus subscribers that I have. I love each and every one of you guys. And just know that I am out here trying to get myself back in shape. I've done pretty good the last 3 or 4 days, diet-wise. Now that I know I'm not going to be traveling back and forth to Georgia, I've been studying up between 5 and 8 hours a day, every day. I work 11 to 12 hours at my job. The drive from North Carolina to Georgia is 3.5 hours. So you guys can see I've just been compressed. There's been no time for YouTube. Hopefully going forward, maybe not immediately, but once I finish school in the middle of October and my life settles back down to the isoelectric line of life, just basic life, work, come home, work, come home. Hopefully I can put out a lot more content. I'm rambling, you guys. I don't mean to hold you up. I love you. Thanks for watching my video. Enjoy this Labor Day weekend. Spend time with your family. If you are a laborer or worker like most of us are, this is for you. This holiday should, recognize your efforts to keep the global economy churning, to keep humanity fed, clothed, safe, all that stuff. Anyway, guys, here's my Uriah. Follow my journey as I try to get this 27 pounds off ASAP. Get back to doing my push-ups and my sprints and my jogging. I hope to do 2 5Ks this year. It's getting kind of late in the year, but we'll see. Even if I have a 2-hour time, I'd like to do at least one more. The Christmas parade one here in Concord, North Carolina. I know I'm going to do that one, and looking forward to that. Anyway, guys, follow along. I'm changing the name of the channel to The Carnivore Champion. Just as soon as I figure out how to do that, maybe one of you guys can leave me a comment down there and explain to me how to change the name of my channel. I love you guys. Take care, and remember, carnivore, baby. Yeah.